Hi, everybody. Joe Cioffi here. Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes. Brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware at 1226 North Wellwood Avenue in West Babylon, New York, Southwest Suffolk County on Long Island. They've got salt, they've got sand, and they've got everything you need to get you through the rest of this winter. Maybe winter will start one day. And of course, they'll also help you out come springtime with everything you need to make sure your yard is in tip top shape. 631-756-1125 is the telephone number. Nowhere can you find better prices, and the website is omnitruevalue.com. So, as we take a look at what is going on today, it's been a pretty nice day. We've had partly to mostly sunny skies across much of the coastal plain from southern New England all the way down into northern Florida. Yes, there are clouds in upstate New York and northern New England, and we've also have clouds and snow across the lower Great Lakes, extending back out into the northern plains. And that's where we have this east-west band of winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings. Winter weather advisories up for Chicago, winter storm warnings up for Milwaukee. And the warnings that are out in Montana are actually dwindling now as this storm has been playing through since last night and through the first part of today. So it's beginning to wind down, and some of that energy moving to the east. If you're thinking that's coming here in any way, shape, or form, the answer is no. Because of the way the upper air pattern is, these things are actually weakening as they move eastward. Have some precip aloft on the radar as of 4 p.m., way up in upstate New York and in northern Maine. And you see what's going on back through the lower lakes. And you've got these patches of snow that extend across Nebraska and South Dakota, all the way back northwest into Idaho. Some showers have broken out in northeast Texas and into Arkansas. That's going to mean some rain that will eventually start moving to the east. But even here, we are probably not going to see much of anything going forward. The surface map as of this afternoon at 1 o'clock shows a weak stationary boundary through New England and upstate New York. There's a cold front that is further north from there. The real cold air is in southeastern Canada where temperatures are below zero, but that air is staying up there. So is the cold air that you have back across the western lakes and particularly in the plains and into southwestern Canada, where temperatures at 1 p.m. Eastern Time were still all below zero. The stationary boundary has a low in northeast Kansas, and that's going to be moving on to the northeast. But the front with this is going to basically fall apart. So we really don't see anything much happening here. The WPC liquid precip map for the next 7 days hardly shows much precip at all in eastern PA to southern New England. We're talking about less than a tenth of an inch, and in some cases, no precip at all. And in the southeast, this is where you start to get to 3/4 of an inch of liquid to as much as 2 to 3 inches from East Texas northeastward into Georgia. The west is seeing some activity, but not much. And also in the areas around the Great Lakes, we're looking at 1/4 to a half of liquid precip, and much of that is going to be in the form of snow. The probability for at least 2 inches from tonight right into Tuesday night, and that runs again well up into upstate New York, well up into northern New England, where there's an 80 to 100% probability there. Also in the southwest and in the central Rockies, we have an area of 50 to 90% probability of at least 2 inches from the Sierra Nevadas into southern Nevada, northern half of Arizona, Utah, into southern Wyoming, southern Idaho, and into the western part of Colorado. And taking a look at the long range, there is, oh, look at that. There's a little spot there where in the central Appalachians, where there's a 10 to 30% chance for at least a few inches on Tuesday. For Wednesday, we're looking at an even smaller spot in the central Appalachians. And then on Thursday into Friday, we're seeing some patchy areas in southern West Virginia, eastern Kentucky, western Virginia, and even a small area in East Central Virginia, where there's a 10 to 30% chance for at least a few inches of snow. Otherwise, we are looking at nothing much at all. I'm really not overly enthused by what we're seeing for the upcoming week as far as any kind of storminess. There really is nothing to be bullish about from that standpoint. We have this weak weather front this afternoon that's dying out. You have another one that's approaching for tomorrow. Maybe we'll see a shower with that or two as it goes by. This is what the GFS is depicting. That front kind of gets hung up for a little while on Monday. Waits for one more wave to develop Monday afternoon, a weak one off North Carolina, and I'm going to throw in the chance that there could be a rain shower again later on Monday until the front completely clears offshore. And then for the rest of the week, it's really about a southern storm track, but these are weak systems coming along. Here's one on Tuesday that has a little bit of precip that extends up northeastward, but gets some snow maybe in southeastern Virginia and the Delmarva Peninsula Thursday afternoon. There's a second one that the GFS shows coming up for Thursday, and believe it or not, it actually snows snow over New Jersey and Long Island for a short time before it changes to rain and ends. Again, a weak system, and the other models aren't showing this. So I'm going to just lean toward the idea that this is overdone, that it's going to be much flatter and much further south, and that we're not going to see much of any precipitation at all. It will turn seasonably cold starting on Tuesday. And at the end of the week, we may have a couple of days where it actually would be considered very cold, especially if you weigh it against how warm it's been. But that cold air doesn't look to hang around for too long because the high with it is going to pull out next weekend. And then, of course, we'll probably wind up warming up and seeing rain from whatever weather system that follows. That's the way this winter has gone, and I don't see anything that changes that fact. Weather in 5 is brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware at 1226 North Wellwood Avenue in West Babylon, New York. 631-756-1125 is the phone number. The website, omnitruevalue.com. And the Joe and Joe Weather Show is back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So we hope to see you then. Enjoy your weekend.